When you have lost your home, lost your family, and clinging to your health, and all you have left is a dream, is that enough to see you through? Please stick around for this episode of Love My Body, Love Myself, and we'll answer those questions for you just right after this. So grab a glass of wine, grab a cup of coffee, whatever it is you want to drink, grab a girlfriend, and let's stay tuned. Hello, hello, hello. It is the holiday season. So happy holidays, everyone. And welcome to Love My Body, Love Myself. I am your host, Alicia Curry. And we have a really special show for you tonight. Actually, last week's show I thought was going to be the last show of the season, but then I had this interview and I had to share it this week. Actually, it wasn't last week, it was the week before, but anyway, semantics. Um, I wanted to share this interview with you all because I thought it was a great way to end the year and kind of looking forward to the next year. What can you accomplish next year? So let me first of all say hello, hello to those of you who are watching us on YouTube. If you're here on YouTube and you like this content, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and also, leave a comment for us. If any of this resonates with you, leave a comment. Thank you for those of you who are on Facebook. Hello, hello, hello. If you're watching on multiple groups, I have this is streaming live on multiple groups on Facebook, as well as on multiple business pages and my personal profile. So hello, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching, please join our community over on Facebook. We are endeavoring to impact 100,000 women with the Love My Body, Love Myself message. So if you are watching over on if you're watching us over on Facebook, go to facebook.com/groups/LMBLM, and that is for Love My Body, Love Myself. And so go ahead and join the group over there. It's going across the screen. And if you want to also, if you're not on YouTube, but you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, go to youtube.com/C/Alicia Curry. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel there. Please, please, please leave a comment. Oh, I did not forget to mention, I do not want to forget to mention those of you who are watching on LinkedIn Live. Thank you for tuning in on LinkedIn Live and Twitch. We love our audience over on Twitch as well. So leave a comment if any of this resonates with you, if you find any of this content good, or just say hi. I would love to just say hi to you if you're watching on any of those platforms. Say hello. And if you want to follow or connect with me, you can go to alicia360.com, and that way you can connect with me on any social media platform, as well as email me, WhatsApp me, text me, smoke signal me. Everything's right there. You can check out my website as well on alicia360.com. And I just want to also let you know that this program is sponsored by, we are sponsored by, sorry, by Alicia Curry Inc. And it is produced by Red Carpet CEO. So I don't see anything else there happening. If you want to just follow me on Instagram, if all the other social medias overwhelm you and you just want to connect with me and follow me on Instagram, just go to The Alicia Curry. In fact, you can find me anywhere on social media at The Alicia Curry or at Audacious Confidence. And you can just give me a follow there and I follow you back. So let me see. I want to let you know that this interview that I'm about to share with you was previously recorded, but what was not previously recorded and what I want to share is her Melissa's bio with you, because she is our guest for today. So let me share who she is, just a little snippet of who she is, because I don't really share a lot of bios here on the show unless they are experts, but she does have some expertise that we do talk about during this interview. So she is Vice Mayor Melissa P. Dunn. She is a small business owner and community activist who's devoted her career to promoting economic stimulus, health and wellness, and quality of life issues throughout South Florida. With a degree in sociology from Judson College in Marion, Alabama, and an MBA from Florida International University, Melissa has managed her business under the philosophy that you can raise profits while also raising awareness. And so I am just going to go ahead and introduce myself, Alicia, to share with you our interview with Melissa P. Dunn. I hope you enjoy this. We have a treat for you today, and I am speaking to the newly appointed Vice Mayor, Melissa P. Dunn, and I am super excited because this is really this is like hot off the presses news.
It really is. I just got appointed literally less than 2 weeks ago.
Wow, because I have you here as Commissioner Dunn, but then when we got to talking, it's like, nope, it's now Vice Mayor. So congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
and your journey to that's kind of where I wanted to start this process because and again, just a little background. We met, we were both speaking at a virtual event, a virtual women's event recently. Arlene Lambert, shout out to Arlene, connected, had you as a guest talking about leadership. And I loved your story. And I believe that women really need to hear this story because during that talk, as you were talking about leadership, you mentioned that you were homeless at one point. So let's start from there. How did that happen to you?
Well, I mean, it happened to me because I was at the time going through a divorce and I had been laid off my job and really just trying to figure out what's next. So I ended up sleeping on my friend's couch and couch surfing for a little bit until I kind of figured out, you know what, maybe it's okay for me to go back home. So my father literally drove and got me and brought me back home to his house. And mind you, I'm in my 30s. I'm
Because
a
I really want to dispel this shame and this feeling of failure if because circumstances happen to the best of us, right? You could have all the great plans and certain like 2008, 2009, I think people realized when that crash happened how fragile um, we are in situations, and there shouldn't be this guilt and shame attached to, all right, so you've lost your job and you don't have a home to be in right now, but you had that before, so you can clearly get it again.
Right, right, right. And you know, the thing about it for me is this happened to me in 2010, 2011. Mind you, I had a very successful job working for an amazing ad agency in Miami. We decided to part ways. So I'm out of a job, struggling to try and figure out what my next move is, struggling to try and figure out entrepreneurship, right? And then at the same time, I'm going through a divorce from a gentleman who, I like a lot of women, I picked something that wasn't right for me.
Right.
Someone who the me that I am now would not have chosen. But
Right.
the me that I am now is grateful that I made the choice because it helped to create the woman that's in front of you, right? Because
Right.
mistakes shape us into who we are when we learn from them.
Absolutely.
So my strategy to get out of the marriage really was, you know what? I'm gonna give up the lease.
Right.
You and it's so funny because that was really the only way that I could figure out to get out of this marriage. I'm just not gonna renew the lease.
Mm, yeah. So it was how you could save yourself was just like, I need to be without a home right now because I can't
I
stay in this situation with you.
listen. I
Okay.
did not renew the lease. I sold all of the furniture because I was the one that was paying for everything anyways, right?
Right, right,
So
right.
I sold all of the furniture and I'm like, here you go. You move to Chicago. I'm going to go and stay at a friend's house until I figure out what was happening because I didn't. And in a way, that just really kind of shows you how like silly my mindset was at the time. Like that's the only way I could figure out how to save myself because I felt like I was drowning. I literally felt like I was being buried alive and just
Oh,
breathing through a straw.
wow.
That's how I felt at the time. And the only reason why I felt that way is because I did not have the types of tools and processes that I have now. If something like that happened to me before, I like right now, I'd be like, okay, well, we're good. Never
Yeah.
alone, always connected. Things are always working out for me, right?
Right, right.
So I ended up, kind of getting rid of the gentleman, sleeping on a friend's couch. Now I'm trying to figure out. So I have no real job
Mm-hmm.
and I have no real husband. I have no
Oh, you
real.
didn't have a real husband to start with,
Well,
so
listen, as soon as it came out of my mouth, Alicia, I was like, wait, really,
wait a minute.
Melissa? I have no real, a place to live. So here I am in my life.
In your 30s.
Everything is in upheaval. For the first time in my life, I have zero control, right?
Mm,
And the only thing I had was a dream. I
wow.
want to go back to school. I want to earn my MBA. And that's what I held on to. And even with that dream, I literally had to rediscover ways to hold on to that in order for it to happen. And I ended up being hospitalized for a minute. I ended up really my dad checking me out of the hospital and bringing me to his house because I lost it. I
Wow.
had a complete
Breakdown.
breakdown, disconnection. And this was in 2011, July, two
Mm,
weeks before my grandmother's birthday. My father came, checked me out of the hospital, and brought me to his house in Broward County. And the thing that really felt like a break for me was the idea that maybe I wasn't going to be able to go back to school because the student loan wasn't going to work out.
no.
And in the end, once I got connected to myself again, all I had to do was make a phone call. And it was worked out. Started school and literally started
Mm.
crawling my way back to being myself.
Okay, I want to pause here for a second because I think so many of us don't realize who we're connected to, and we try to figure things out on our own.
Mm-hmm.
And we stop and we get into that mental swirl of trying to, I need to make it happen. I need to make it happen instead of like really looking at who's in our network that, and also afraid to help, afraid for people to know what our situation is and afraid to ask for the help.
Well, Alicia, can I tell you that for me, the support came from my father, from my friend Enzo, my family in general. But the real connection that I'm talking about is really going internally, spiritually.
That's a big part
And
too. I was waiting for you to get to that part too. I was waiting for that part too, because yes, that's the first connection that we need to make within ourselves.
Mhm.
And also there are people that can help us that we're either ashamed to talk to or afraid to talk to or don't know that we can. And that's kind of like I'm trying to get people, viewers, people who are watching to understand that you're not alone. You really truly
Yeah,
are
you're
not
not.
alone.
You're not.
And
And honestly, for me, that's kind of when I started my transformation journey. So I, did transformation programs, started practicing affirmations, started developing a morning routine, really started working on my mindset, practicing gratitude, and really leaning into this idea that I'm a creator
mm,
and that I get to script how my future gets to look, right? And I remember in December of 2012, I went to a Black Girls Run South Florida event, and we were making vision boards.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, Alicia, that vision board is up and in my room.
Wow.
And when you go back and you look at it and you look at some of the things that I have on there, I'm living that life right now. I'm
It's
living that
really
life
powerful.
right now.
Vision boards are powerful. I'm living in the house that I put up on a vision board the year before. Was it the year? No, it was actually the same year. It was the January of that year. I had put a house up on my vision board. I found it and I clipped it out and I put it up there, and it turned out to be if it's not the exact same because I can't read the address, it's the same style house
Oh, I love
um,
that. I
that
love
that I
that.
had on my vision board. The garage is in the same place. The front door,
Oh,
the windows, everything is exactly the same as
I love
that
it.
was
I
on my
love
vision
it.
board.
I love it. So
Yeah.
between then and now, I worked on my mindset.
Hmm.
I worked on self-love. I worked on
Hmm.
self-forgiveness. And I really came to the understanding that what my role was, right? Taking radical responsibility for the results that I had created then.
Yes.
Taking radical responsibility for the failure of my marriage, for the termination of my professional well, that phase of my professional relationship with the agency that I used to work with, taking radical responsibility even for my financial situation,
Hmm.
and really making a decision about who it is that I need to become in order for me to create the life that I'm living right now.
Wow.
And so I had to give up a lot of bad habits. I had to give up fear. I had to give up self-doubt. I had to give up this idea that somebody outside of me had
Oh, do something.
control over what happened in my life, and that's just total BS.
Mm. You said so many rich things in there. I don't even know where to start, where to begin with that. Because let's start with radical responsibility, because I feel like that's something that's really missing for people to understand what radical responsibility is and what that looks like when there is failure in your life or something that you determine is, because there's really no failure. There's just lessons. There are
Yeah.
lessons to learn. So how did that look? What did
Well,
that
one
look
of
like?
the things that I've learned from one of my mentors, and he's my virtual mentor because I don't know him personally, even though I took a class with him. But one of my virtual mentor is Reverend Michael Beckwith, right? And Reverend Michael talks a lot about the different levels of creation that happens in your life, right? And the first level is this idea that you believe that it's somebody else's fault. Oh, my marriage didn't work out because he was a
It's his
cheater.
fault.
Well, true, he was a cheater, but I chose the cheater, right?
Hmm.
So what was it in me that made me
It drew me to that
attracted to
person.
that, right? And I couldn't go back to school because my credit sucked and I couldn't get a student loan and the bank didn't. Or well, who was working on your credit, boo?
Hmm.
Or this idea that my boss just didn't like me, or my coworkers are always talking about me. And so the person that's most often not having the kind of life that they want, if they really are truly honest with themselves, they'll see that in a lot of cases, they're blaming other people and other circumstances outside of themselves for the
Hmm.
result that they have in their life right now.
Yeah, Dr. Phil, in his book, he talks about the locus of influence, like if you have an inward or an outward, um, that locus of, I think, yeah, influence. So the thing about that, when you start taking responsibility, because I always ask myself, what part of this am I responsible for? something breaks down, something doesn't happen. What was my
Mhm.
role in this? Because
Absolutely.
I always have a role in it. It didn't just happen in a vacuum, right?
Correct.
What was my role in this? And that's how I take radical responsibility, because I look at what did I do? What did I allow? What did
Hmm.
I permit in my life for this to happen?
And I
So,
think it even goes, I think it even gets a little bit deeper than that.
mhm,
So there's a process that I have that I call the creation process, right? And it's this idea that our thoughts influence our behavior. Oh, I love that. The idea that our thoughts trigger our emotions impact our actions, and our actions produce our results, right?
mhm,
So
yes,
when you look at that framework, you understand that everything starts with your thoughts.
mhm.
That's where it all begins. So I think that it even goes a little bit
And I
further.
think it goes even deeper than that, because we have subconscious actions that aren't even, we don't even have the awareness of the thought yet, that it's really happening. We have a belief in our subconscious,
Right.
we have a
Yes,
belief that we
yes.
need to root out, that then we can make a different choice when it gets to that thought process.
Right. And what I've learned, and one of the things that I practice that's helped me tremendously, is to just recognize how I'm feeling, because I believe that your feelings is an indicator of what's happening in your mind, right?
Hmm.
Because remember, the thought triggered the emotion. So if
Hmm.
you can't yet kind of trace the thought, I actually start backwards. But okay, how am I feeling right now? My shoulders a little bit tense. What's happening? My throat feels, what's going on, and then from that
Hmm.
I'm able to kind of trace it back and then figure out, okay, well, this is what I was thinking. And the fact that I'm thinking that, my butt looks fat in these jeans is really kind of helping me to, feel not really so confident right now. And as a result, I'm about to eat this Dorito, right? So it kind of traces back. And my whole point in saying all of this is radical responsibility um, really starts with creating an awareness of what's happening in your mind, what's happening with your emotions, and really what's happening with your body. Because success is an inside out journey.
Hmm. Yes.
It's an inside out journey. And so for me, part of my personal transformation and part of even me being successful at this dream of serving in elected office was a result of me being willing to observe myself, to notice what's happening internally so I can shift that
Mm.
in order for me to step into the woman that already had what I was asking God for.
That's a beautiful place for us to take a break. So let's take a break and come back with Vice Mayor Melissa P. Dunn. The Love My Body, Love Myself show is sponsored by Alicia Curry Inc. and produced by Red Carpet CEO. Alicia Curry Inc. is a boutique consulting firm that specializes in developing audaciously proactive leaders and teams using brain science and people data to get results. For more information, you can visit our website, aliciacurry.com. The show is produced by Red Carpet CEO. If you would like a copy of Age with Audacious Confidence, please go to our link tree, which is linktr.ee/acurry, and look for Age with Audacious Confidence. So let's go on and get back to the show. I actually wanted to pause here for a second. We'll get back to the show in a moment, but I wanted to recognize. I know I mentioned Arlene earlier in the interview that she had brought the two of us together. So hey, Arlene, thank you for joining us and watching. Yes, it's always great when you can identify what your role is in a certain situation that causes the breakdown of something. So thank you for joining us, and please. again, I just wanted to say hello to those who are watching. This interview was previously recorded, but I am here live, and I would love for you to share what ahas or anything that you've heard. We talked about the locus of control, that success is an inside out job. We Melissa mentioned how how she needed to go inward when she was in that situation to find her strength and climb her way back out of where she was, homeless, couch surfing because of a decision that she made. She was without, going through a divorce and hospitalized, and really had this dream of getting her MBA. And so, really looking at the resources that we have in our pocket sometimes when we think that we're all alone and we have nowhere to turn or nowhere to go. We have connections, we have resources, we have people out there that can help us and that can help navigate our situation. So I just wanted to mention that so smartly. Thank you so much, Jason. Hey, Philip, thank you for watching. So I am going to go on and get back to the show now with my guest, Melissa P. Dunn. So enjoy the rest of the interview. So we're back with Vice Mayor Melissa P. Dunn. I have to stop myself from saying commissioner because I have to actually look and read. So I'm saying the right thing. And if you've missed the beginning of this interview, go back and watch it again because there were so many incredible nuggets that were dropped. So like gold, liquid gold that Vice Mayor Melissa shared with us in her journey, from sleeping on friends' couches to where she is right now. So I encourage you to go back and watch this if you've missed it. So we ended before our break. We ended talking about, the woman that you are today and how you had to make those shifts to even step into that. So talk to me a little bit about what that journey was for you, stepping into public office from
Well,
entrepreneurship,
I
right?
have to tell you, so after living with my dad for a minute, getting my MBA in healthcare, and really deciding to start my company, I graduated with my master's in 2012, started working at Florida Medical Center as their marketing director. And then shortly after that, about a year later, starting my agency called MD Marketing Network. I started that in 2014. And at the time, I didn't necessarily have this dream of starting the company, but I knew that needed to be my next step. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yes.
And so I kind of stepped into it. I think if I had to do it all over again, I perhaps would have kept my hospital job and worked as a side hustle. Some of the things that I kind of coach entrepreneurs that I work with now on how to kind of balance all of it, right? So there were some lessons learned there, but started my agency and have been working with the agency for quite a while. Became a board member of the Lauderhill Regional Chamber of Commerce, served as president of the organization. And then in 2019, a couple of people approached me about running for office. Now, that was not on my bucket list. Now, words like influence and power was on my list, and service. Those are all on my vision board, right? But I didn't really have an idea of how that would turn out. In my mind, entrepreneurship and my work through my foundation, the Euro Wisdom Foundation, would have been how that would manifest. But God had different
Other
plans
plan,
for me.
right?
So by this time, I had kind of created a really close internal relationship and a real discernment So when two people approached me about the opportunity, I could hear and feel in my spirit that that was the right next step for me. And
Right.
so I said yes. Said yes, understanding that fundraising was something that was challenging for me. I had a hard time asking people for money
Mm-hmm.
and
It's the
campaigning.
nature of the beast.
Listen, let me tell you. I knew that I could do the work. I
Right.
knew that I could sit in this office and I could serve the people of Lauderhill very, very well to the best of my ability. I was confident in that. But the act of campaigning, I wasn't confident in. And the truth is, I had to go through the campaigning process in order to sit in this chair.
Absolutely.
And so there are a lot of things I had to give up. I had to give up fear. I had to give up this whole idea that this voice that played in my head from my grandmother telling me when I was 6 or 7, don't ask people for anything.
Right.
That's something you tell your kid when you don't want them to embarrass you by
Right.
taking food from
You don't
strangers.
want them to be beggar. You don't want them to seem like they're begging for something. Don't do
Yes, exactly. And so
make them, because then looks bad on me. It's like, what? Don't you
yes,
feed your child? I was like, yes, I feed them.
exactly.
That's a
So,
Caribbean thing for all
you
you.
know, but unfortunately for me, while it served me well as a child, as a woman in my 40s, you gotta be able to ask for
I
help.
love that you said
You gotta
that.
be able to accept help. And the truth is, Alicia, that abundance is a cycle of giving and receiving. If I call myself a servant leader, it's my responsibility to allow people to give to me just as much as it's my responsibility to give to them.
To serve them. I have my pastor. He's passed away now, but he used to say that you are depriving them of their blessing by not
Hmm.
allowing them to give to you. You are
Yes,
depriving them of their blessing, because that's how they become blessed, is when they give. And if
absolutely,
you're not giving them an opportunity to give, you're depriving them of their blessing.
absolutely. So I worked with a coach. I mean, and at the time, I actually was going through my own So I had MD Marketing Network, I had the ad
Mhm.
agency, and I was going through Ideal Coaching Global to become a certified mindfulness and ontological coach myself. Uh, and I was running for office. So, and there was a pandemic. There's
That is
a lot
a
of
little
things
bit.
happening. But I ended up working with a coach, and I had a mastermind that really supported me in releasing that belief. And I still struggle with it sometimes.
Mhm.
I still struggle with the idea of asking people for money.
Because it was ingrained in you from childhood.
Correct. It's a
And
work
what
in progress.
it's a work in progress. And what you said about um, how things served you as a child and they no longer serve you as a woman, I really want people to hear that, because there are things that, beliefs and things that we've done all our lives that protected us and were good when we were younger. But then now, as a woman, you have to stop and really recognize, does this belief, does this action, is this right here still serving me
Hmm.
as an adult, and where I need to go. The what I need to step into. Does it serve me to play small, to be small?
Right. Yeah. And so I'm really happy and oh wow. So I wrote this I really believe in I practice the law of attraction a lot. I activate it a lot in my life, right?
Hmm.
And scripting is one of the process that I practice. And I have still on the back of my door, my closet door, which faces my bed. So as soon as I wake up, this is the first thing I see, a phrase that says, I am so happy and grateful that I am Commissioner Melissa P. Dunn.
Hmm.
And I have that on my wall. And it's still there because I wrote two things. And the first one already happened. The second one is in the process of becoming. And I keep it there because to remind myself, listen, God and I co created the first one. So we're
Yeah.
in the process of co creating the second one too.
Yay.
Yeah. So I'm so happy and grateful that I came to the understanding that I have power
Mm-hmm.
because there's a power that's greater that lives inside of
On
me.
the inside of you.
And therefore, I am never alone. Therefore, all of the tools that I need to access in order to create the life that I am dreaming, it's already inside of me.
Yes.
And so, because of that, I walk through the world confidently, even when storms are raging. I know that I'm deeply rooted, I deeply planted like an oak tree. I know that I know that I know that I know that there's always beauty, even in the ashes, and there's always room for opportunities in every single situation, even when to the surface eye it seems hopeless and bleakless.
Mhm.
And that is a lesson that I, the woman that I am today, would really turn back and look at the woman that I was in 2021 or 2011 and
You
say,
love it.
sis, let me tell you, but that's a process that I learned, and a shedding of the old skin to step into the new skin. And guess what? The woman that I am in 2025 is perhaps looking back at the woman that I am now and saying, sis, wait until you
You
get
just
here.
wait till you get here. I know. I love it, love it, love it.
I,
Uh,
I,
we only have a short amount of time left, and I want you to share with our viewers and listeners um, your self care, because as vice mayor, as commissioner, and now vice mayor, your plate is full because you still do have a business and you're launching something new.
Mhm.
You're still launching something, and so how do you create balance for yourself, still have self-love? You talk a lot about gratitude, but how do you do it?
Well, I have a very powerful morning and evening routine. The morning routine, I'm up at 4 o'clock every morning, and from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., most mornings, it's my time. And I am the second note that's on the back of my door that I'm asking God for.
Mhm.
I'm actually doing the practice that I did to get my election, which is I get up and I drive to the beach every single morning, 7 days a week. And I live in Lauderhill, so it's like a good 20-minute drive without traffic.
Mhm.
And during that time, I'm in praise and worship. And when I get to the ocean, I meditate, I pray, I walk, I listen, I see people, I pray for them, I bless them, and I really use that moment to connect and go inward. And
Wow.
oftentimes, an idea will come to me. Oftentimes, an impulse will come for me to call a particular person, or for me to even write a note of gratitude to a particular person. So, to answer your question, I spend time at the ocean and I
Mhm.
spend time with God. And more importantly, I spend time with myself, and it's a non-negotiable time.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. That is powerful. So that's how she does it, y'all. That's
And I
how
have to
she
tell
does
you,
it.
my days, on Mondays in particular, I'm at City Hall until 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And so I'm juggling a lot of things, and really knowing how to breathe and go back to my breath is one of the most powerful tools that I have.
I love that. Thank you so much for taking this 30 minutes out of your time to really share these amazing nuggets. Listen, I want you guys to be able to connect with Vice Mayor Dunn. You can connect with her on IG. It's I am Melissa P. Dunn MBA on Instagram. You can drop a DM for her, and in that way, you want to know more about her coaching and her how she got where she is, and all of that. You can drop her a DM on Instagram, or you can go to donewisdom.com. Tell us really quickly what you're launching on donewisdom.com.
If it's city business, do not DM me there because that's
Okay, good.
yeah, because that city business stuff is public records request. So you have to go to the city's website and find my name, and you can reach me through that. But donewisdom.com, I am a certified mindfulness and ontological coach. And so that's really me launching a second business, which is my coaching practice. I have a course coming out and also some coaching and speaking and all of that. So that's me stepping fully into my role as teacher and coach.
Awesome. Love it. So, yes, if it's city business, do not DM her. Just that's okay. Don't DM her on city
But
business.
go to the City of Lauderhill's website, and my cell phone number and a link to schedule a meeting with me if it's about city business is there.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. And I really love this interview, and I love all the wisdom that you shared with us. And I really hope people reach out to you because, as you can tell, she's got a lot to share, a lot to help you get through and navigate some of these situations, whether it's a mindset, mindfulness, whatever it is that you need to take you to the next level. Connect with Vice Mayor Melissa P. Dunn. She uh, talks and walks her walk. Walk, yeah. She
Right.
doesn't just
Yes,
talk
yes,
the
yes,
talk. She
yes.
walks. She walks it out. So, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking the time to share with us today.
Thank you for having me on the show and for sharing my story with your audience.
You're welcome. So I am back. I am back. Wasn't that an awesome interview? I mean, there was so many good things that were shared in that interview, and this is why I wanted to have it this season because I wanted you all to take this into the next year of your life to really look at some of the nuggets she shared. And if you missed any of it, go back and rewatch it. Go back and watch it again. Um, just quickly, she talked about when she was ready to move forward. Finding herself kind of hitting, I guess, what people would call rock bottom, and all she had was the dream to get her MBA and no idea how to do that, and trying to figure out ways to do that. She then mentioned running for office, running for city commissioner after being a volunteer and really being in a lot of different areas. And the idea that she had to give up certain things if she wanted to accomplish this next thing. And I think that's something that we don't really look at a lot is what are we giving up and not giving up something good. She talked about giving up fear. I had to give up fear in order to run. I had to give up fear because in order to run, I had to ask people for money. I had to ask for donations, and I didn't want to ask for donations. I didn't like asking people for money. She also talked about that if she was going to be a servant leader and if she was going to give people the opportunity to um, have her in that position, she had to also give them the opportunity to support her financially. It was her responsibility. Those are the words she had. It was her responsibility to allow others to give to her, and that's how reciprocity works. That's how things things keep moving. And yes, Hope mentioned non-negotiable time. She also talked about her routine in the mornings, that is her non-negotiable time. So we need to have non-negotiable times in order to keep loving our bodies and loving ourselves, doing things for ourselves that no one can interrupt, nothing and no one can interrupt. And so, especially as women, as moms, as busy entrepreneurs, whatever you're doing in your life, you need to have that quiet time, that non-negotiable time. Yes, Hope. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so good. Have those times, and from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's a long time to every single day to have this mindfulness practice that she has, going down to the beach, driving to the beach, and spending time praying and meditating and being with the people that she serves in the community. So this episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. I want to just remind you that it was sponsored by Alicia Curry Inc. and produced by Red Carpet CEO. Just really also wanted to give you another opportunity that if you wanted to connect with me, you can connect with me on alicia360.com. Also, go to our YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. It is youtube.com/c/Alicia Curry. So you don't miss any of this content. We are going to take a break over the holidays, but we will be back in January. We'll be back in January with Love My Body, Love Myself on Wednesday nights instead of Tuesdays. Wednesday nights, we're going to come back with the shows, with all brand new shows. So stay tuned for that. And we're coming back with all brand new shows of Small Business Saturday Shout Out. And just really stay tuned for that. It's going to be amazing, fun, exciting. My podcast is coming back next year. My show on Win Win Women TV is every Monday at 5 p.m. So check those things out. I'm always, I love to give a lot of really great content. So they're all content rich shows, and to help you grow, to help you expand, and just live a happier, healthier life with audacious confidence. Always stepping out with audacious confidence. So my charge for you this holiday season is, in all the busyness and all the craziness and everything that's going on, to take that time to love on yourself, to love your body, do something good for yourself that you never thought you could do or you never have done before. Do something good for yourself in this holiday season that really revives and energizes you and gets you ready for the next year. So take that time to love on your body and love yourself, and not in a crazy way, but really, self-love is very important, because that's how you recharge and regenerate yourself so you can give to others. I know for me, I did want to say this, because for me, I get my massages done, and it's not just a regular massage. I do the LPG massages so that it stimulates my lymphatic drainage. It stimulates blood circulation, does really good things for my body inside and out. I go to the chiropractor once a week, also doing things that are good for my body inside and out. That's how I practice my own self-love, taking care of this body. I put good things in so that good things can come out. And we're going to talk more about that when the show returns on January 5th. We're going to have a health and wellness expert talk about that. We're going to have someone talk about anti-aging, laser treatments. Oh my gosh, that show I've been wanting to do for the longest time. So I have someone coming on to talk about what is good on the market for you to use, that's non-invasive, that's going to help you regenerate your collagen, your elastin, help you keep your body and yourself kind of slow down the aging process and keep you looking younger, feeling great. So I have those shows coming up in January. So stay tuned, and so much more. So happy holidays. Happy New Year. I will see you again on January 5th. And take this time, like I said, to love your body and love yourself. Good night, everybody. Mwah, 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 mwah.